The spiritual mission of cats. Why they come into your life. Divine purpose revealed. What if I told you that the moment your cat entered your life wasn't an accident? That behind those mysterious eyes lies a sacred mission written in a language older than words? Stay with me, because by the end of this journey, you'll never look at your feline companion the same way again. If you enjoy meaningful stories and spiritual insights about cats, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. The moment everything changed. There's something extraordinary about the way a cat enters your life. Perhaps you were scrolling through adoption photos when one pair of eyes stopped you mid-breath. Maybe a stray appeared at your doorstep on the exact night you felt most alone. Or perhaps a kitten chose your lap in a shelter full of people, as if recognizing something in you that even you hadn't seen yet. Do you remember that moment? Close your eyes and go back there. What were you feeling? What was happening in your life? I'd love to hear your story in the comments below. Tell me how your cat found you, and I promise I'll read every single one. Because these aren't just coincidences. They're appointments made by the universe itself. Throughout history, humans have sensed something sacred about cats. Ancient Egyptians revered them as divine protectors. Japanese culture celebrated them as bearers of good fortune. Celtic traditions spoke of them as guardians between worlds. But beyond mythology and folklore, there's something deeper happening. Something you've probably felt, but never quite put into words. It's that inexplicable recognition. That feeling of coming home to someone you've never met before. The language of souls. Cats possess an extraordinary sensitivity that science is only beginning to understand. Research shows they can detect subtle changes in human emotion through variations in our scent, body temperature, and even the electromagnetic field our hearts produce. They respond to frequencies of distress that operate below conscious human awareness. But what researchers measure in laboratories, cat guardians have known in their hearts for millennia. Your cat knows when you're hurting before you cry. They appear beside you during moments of grief, offering silent companionship that somehow says more than any words could. They position themselves in your home with deliberate intention, often in doorways and corners, as if standing guard over invisible boundaries. This isn't imagination, this is recognition. Think about the timing of your cat's arrival. Were you navigating loss? Processing a life transition? Standing at a crossroads, uncertain which path to take? Or perhaps you felt fine on the surface, unaware of the emotional weight you'd been carrying until this small being arrived and suddenly made everything feel lighter. Spiritual teachers across traditions speak of synchronicity, meaningful coincidences that reveal the hidden order beneath apparent chaos. Carl Jung described it as the universe's way of showing us that we're not alone, that there's an intelligence weaving our lives together in ways our rational minds can't grasp. When a cat chooses you, that's not chance. That's synchronicity speaking in fur and whiskers. The recognition that transcends time. Have you ever looked into your cat's eyes and felt like you'd known them before? Like somewhere, in some other time or place, your souls had already met. You're not imagining it. Many spiritual traditions hold that souls travel together across lifetimes, taking different forms but maintaining essential connections. While we can't prove this scientifically, we can honor the profound truth of the feeling itself. That sense of ancient familiarity isn't something to dismiss, it's something to trust. Your cat didn't just wander into your life randomly. They arrived during a specific window when your heart was ready, even if your mind didn't know it yet. Perhaps you'd been praying for comfort without speaking the words aloud. Maybe you'd been asking the universe for a sign that you weren't forgotten. Or possibly you'd been so strong for so long that you'd forgotten how to be vulnerable until this small creature showed you it was safe. Some cats arrive gentle and affectionate, offering immediate warmth to frozen hearts. Others come shy and wounded, asking you to learn patience and earn trust slowly. And some arrive with fierce independence, teaching you that love doesn't require possession or control. What kind of cat came to you? What were they teaching you about yourself? The invisible thread. Right now, as you watch this, your cat might be sleeping nearby, or sitting in that particular spot they always choose, or following you from room to room with no apparent reason except to be close. That's not ordinary behavior, that's mission work. Because here's what most people never realize. Your cat isn't just living with you. They're actively working on something, sensing something, protecting something, healing something. And the extraordinary part? You were specifically chosen for this sacred collaboration. Not every human would have been right for your particular cat. Not every home would have provided what they needed to fulfill their purpose. But yours did. You did. The question that probably nobody has ever asked you before is this. What if your cat has been waiting their whole life to find you? What if, from the moment they were born, they were on a journey toward this exact address, this exact person, this exact moment? And what if the reason they arrived exactly when they did goes deeper than you ever imagined? Why your cat behaves the way they do. You've seen it happen. Your cat enters a room and immediately goes to the corner you've been avoiding. They sit on your chest during your darkest nights. They stare at empty spaces as if seeing something you cannot. And you've wondered, haven't you? What are they doing? What do they know that I don't? The answer is both simple and profound. They're working. Every purr, every silent vigil, every mysterious behavior has purpose woven into it. And today, you're going to understand what that purpose is. Mission 1. Energy Guardians. Your home is more than walls and furniture. It's a container for energy. The emotions you've felt, the conversations you've had, the tears you've cried when nobody was watching. All of it leaves an imprint, invisible but very real. Cats perceive these energetic imprints with remarkable clarity. Scientific studies have shown that cats possess highly developed sensory systems. Their whiskers detect minute changes in air pressure and movement. Their hearing captures frequencies far beyond human range. Their vision operates in low light that would leave us blind. But beyond these measurable abilities lies something researchers are only beginning to explore: their sensitivity to the electromagnetic patterns generated by human emotion and consciousness. Watch where your cat spends time. Notice how they position themselves in doorways and thresholds, how they choose specific corners and windowsills. This isn't random. They're establishing what we might call energetic checkpoints, places where they can monitor and influence the flow of energy through your space. When your cat sits in a room you rarely use, they're not just resting. When they sleep in that corner where arguments happened, they're not just seeking warmth. They're transforming density into lightness, heaviness into peace. Ancient traditions called them protectors for exactly this reason. Modern cat guardians feel it instinctively every time their cat's presence makes a house feel like a sanctuary. Mission 2. Emotional Healers. There's a reason your cat appears beside you when tears fall. Research has documented that a cat's purr vibrates at frequencies between 25 and 50 hertz, the same frequencies used in therapeutic healing for bone density, pain relief, and tissue regeneration. But they do something even more remarkable. They heal emotional wounds that have no physical form. Depression doesn't announce itself with trumpets. Anxiety doesn't send advance notice. Grief moves through us in waves we can't predict or control. Yet somehow, your cat knows. They know before your closest friend notices. They know before you've spoken a word. I've heard countless stories from people who say their cat saved their life, and they mean it literally. The person who didn't end their pain because they had to feed their cat in the morning. The individual who found reason to get out of bed because a small being needed them. The soul who learned to feel again through the simple act of receiving unconditional presence. Your cat doesn't judge your tears. They don't tell you to be stronger or get over it faster. They simply stay. And in that staying, in that silent witnessing, something fundamental shifts inside you. You remember you're not alone. You remember you're still capable of connection. You remember you're worthy of love, even when you feel most broken. Has your cat ever done this for you? Have they appeared during your hardest moments? Share your experience in the comments. I want to hear how your cat has held space for your healing. Mission 3. Teachers of Presence. In a world obsessed with productivity and achievement, cats offer radical wisdom. The present moment is enough. Watch your cat in a sunbeam. They're not thinking about yesterday's disappointments or tomorrow's uncertainties. They're experiencing warmth, fully, completely, with their entire being absorbed in now. When was the last time you did that? When did you last exist without the mental chatter of should and must and need to? Cats teach mindfulness without speaking a word about it. They teach meditation without asking you to sit still. They teach presence through the pure example of living it, moment by moment, breath by breath. Every time your cat stops to groom themselves, they're demonstrating self-care without guilt. Every time they stretch luxuriously, they're modeling the importance of honoring the body. Every time they nap without apology, they're giving you permission to rest without earning it. These aren't small lessons. In our exhausted, anxious, perpetually connected world, these might be the most important teachings available. Mission 4. Spiritual Awakeners. Here's where cats become truly challenging teachers. They demand that you grow. Your cat won't love you more if you buy expensive toys. They won't respect you more if you plead for affection. They won't change their nature to accommodate your expectations. And in this beautiful, frustrating truth lies profound spiritual instruction. You learn patience when your shy cat takes months to trust you. You learn boundaries when your cat says no to your touch. You learn unconditional love when your cat acts entirely on their own terms, yet you love them anyway. You learn that real love means respecting someone's nature, not trying to reshape them into what's convenient for you. This is advanced spiritual work disguised as everyday life with a cat. How many times has your cat forced you to slow down, to be gentler, to release control, to accept that not everything bends to your will and that's actually okay? They're mirrors, reflecting back the parts of yourself that need attention. The impatience, the need for constant validation, the difficulty sitting with stillness. Your cat isn't being difficult. They're being your teacher. Mission 5. Bridges between worlds. Now we enter the realm of mystery. Your cat stares at empty corners. They track invisible movement across the ceiling. They react to presences you cannot perceive. And while science explains some of this through their superior sensory abilities, anyone who has truly lived with cats knows there's something more happening. Cultures worldwide have recognized cats as beings who exist comfortably in multiple dimensions of reality. They're not frightened by what's unseen. They're not disturbed by the subtle realms that make humans uneasy. They move between the visible and invisible with the same grace they show in physical space. This doesn't mean you should fear what your cat perceives, quite the opposite. Your cat's calm presence in the face of the unknown is itself reassuring. They're telling you, through their behavior, that there's nothing to fear in the mystery. That the invisible world is simply another aspect of reality, no more threatening than the room you're sitting in right now. Perhaps this is their deepest mission, helping you become comfortable with not knowing, not seeing, not understanding everything. Helping you trust that there's more to existence than what your limited human senses can grasp. And maybe, just maybe, they're keeping watch over thresholds you don't even know exist, ensuring that your journey through this life remains protected in ways you'll never fully comprehend. But there's something I haven't told you yet. Something that explains why certain cats enter your life for only a brief season, while others remain for decades. The truth about timing and purpose goes even deeper than these missions. And understanding it will change how you see every moment you have together. Tentar novamente o Cloud pode cometer erros. Confira sempre as respostas. The truth about how long they're meant to be here. If you've ever lost a cat too soon, this chapter might bring tears, but I promise you, it will also bring comfort in a way nothing else has. Because the question that haunts so many loving hearts, why did they leave so early? has an answer that's both heartbreaking and beautiful. And if your cat is still with you, what you're about to understand will deepen every single day you have left together. The agreements made before birth. There's a concept in spiritual philosophy that speaks to something many of us have felt but struggled to name: the idea that souls make agreements before entering physical form. Not contracts written in legal language, but intentions woven into the fabric of existence itself. When your cat's soul and your soul recognized each other across the distance between lives, something profound happened. A mutual knowing, a shared purpose. An understanding of what needed to happen and approximately how long it would take. I know this sounds mystical, and perhaps you're not sure if you believe in such things. That's perfectly okay. What matters isn't whether you adopt this as belief, but whether it resonates with your experience. Does it feel true when you think about your cat? Does it explain something you've always sensed but couldn't articulate? Some cats come for a complete lifetime. Others come for a season. And while our human hearts want every beloved companion to stay forever, there's wisdom in understanding that duration and depth aren't the same thing. A cat who shares your life for 2 years can transform you as profoundly as one who stays for 20. The question isn't how long they stayed. The question is, did they complete what they came to do? The cats who come for brief, burning missions. Think about the cat who appeared during your darkest period. Maybe you were grieving a devastating loss. Maybe you were recovering from illness or heartbreak. Maybe you were standing at a crossroads, paralyzed by impossible decisions. And then this cat arrived, often unexpectedly. Sometimes as a stray who wouldn't leave, sometimes as a foster you weren't supposed to keep, sometimes as a friend's cat who clearly chose you instead. They stayed through the crisis. They sat with you through the sleepless nights. They offered comfort that human words couldn't provide. And then, when the storm passed, when you found your footing again, when you could breathe without that crushing weight on your chest, they left. Maybe they got sick suddenly. Maybe they disappeared. Maybe they passed peacefully in sleep. And you were left wondering if you'd failed them somehow, if you could have done more, if loving them better would have made them stay. But here's the truth that brings peace. They didn't leave because you failed. They left because they succeeded. Their mission was never to stay forever. Their mission was to carry you through that specific darkness, to hold vigil during that particular transformation, to ensure you didn't walk through that valley alone. And when that work was complete, their soul was free to continue its own journey. Does this mean their death was predestined? Does it mean you had no control? Not exactly. Life is more nuanced than simple fate. But it does mean their time with you had purpose and completion, even when it felt far too short. Have you experienced this? A cat who came during crisis and left when you'd healed? Tell me about them in the comments. Say their name. Let them be remembered. The lifelong companions. Then there are the cats who settle in for the long journey, the ones who see you through multiple chapters of life, who witness your transformations and remain constant through every version of yourself you become. These cats have a different mission. They're not here for a single lesson, but for ongoing companionship through the full complexity of a human life. They age alongside you. They adjust to your changes. They offer different gifts in different seasons. When you're young and restless, they match your energy with playfulness. When you mature and slow down, they become more contemplative. When you face challenges, they offer steady presence. When you celebrate victories, they share your home's joy. These are the cats who become woven into your identity. When people think of you, they think of you with your cat. When you imagine home, your cat is in the picture. They're not just pets. They're family members who shape the entire atmosphere of your daily existence. But even these precious long-term companions will eventually face the reality all physical beings must meet. And when that time comes, it will feel impossible. It will feel like the world is ending. It will feel unfair that something so deeply loved must be temporary. Yet even in this longest goodbye, there's sacred purpose. When departure becomes the final teaching, your cat's passing, whether after 2 years or 20, offers one ultimate lesson: the preciousness of impermanence. In the days and weeks before a cat leaves their body, something often shifts. They might seek more closeness, or sometimes more solitude. They might gaze at you with unusual intensity, as if memorizing your face. They might revisit favorite spots in your home, saying goodbye to the territory they've guarded so faithfully. These behaviors aren't random. Many who work closely with animals in their final days observe a kind of conscious preparation, a deliberate process of release. Your cat isn't just dying. They're completing their mission with intention. And what they're teaching you in those final moments is perhaps their most important gift: how to let go with love instead of fear, how to honor a life fully lived, how to say goodbye while knowing that love doesn't end when breath does. Veterinarians and animal hospice workers consistently report something remarkable. Cats often seem to wait for permission. They hold on until their person is ready, or until they've had a chance to say goodbye, or until a specific person arrives. There are countless stories of cats who passed within hours of a traveling family member finally making it home, as if they were waiting to ensure everyone they loved would be okay. This isn't coincidence. This is consciousness. This is a soul completing its sacred work with grace. The continuation of love. After your cat passes, you might experience things that comfort you or confuse you. A sense of their presence in the room. A dream that feels more like a visit than ordinary sleep. A synchronicity involving their favorite toy, or a song that reminds you of them. Different spiritual traditions offer different explanations for these experiences. Some speak of the soul's journey continuing in other realms. Some describe energy persisting beyond physical form. Some frame it as the human heart's way of processing grief and maintaining connection. What I can tell you is this: thousands upon thousands of people report these experiences. They're not making them up. They're not imagining things. Something real is happening, even if we can't measure it scientifically or explain it rationally. And perhaps that's okay. Perhaps mystery is where faith lives. Perhaps not knowing exactly what happens after death is what allows us to trust in something larger than our limited understanding. Your cat's mission in physical form may end, but the love you shared? That's eternal. The way they changed you? That's permanent. The gifts they brought to your life? Those remain woven into who you've become. They came when you needed them. They stayed as long as their purpose required. And they left knowing their work was complete. But here's what almost nobody talks about, and it's the most beautiful truth of all. This relationship isn't one-sided. Yes, your cat had a mission regarding you, but you also have a mission regarding your cat. And understanding what you're meant to offer them, what only you can give, transforms everything. What could you possibly offer to a being who seems so independent, so self-sufficient, so complete in themselves? The answer will surprise you: the divine purpose of being chosen. We've spent this entire journey exploring what your cat came to give you: the protection, the healing, the lessons, the love. But now we arrive at the truth that completes the circle, the part of the story that makes you not just a receiver, but a sacred participant. Your cat didn't choose you only because of what they could offer. They chose you because of what you alone could give them: the gift of being truly seen. In a world that often treats animals as objects or accessories, your cat needed someone who would see them as a soul. Not a pet, not property, not entertainment, but a conscious being with preferences, boundaries, emotions, and dignity. You are that person. Think about how you speak to your cat, how you respect their moods, their needs for solitude, their moments when they want connection. Think about how you've learned their language, the subtle ear movements, the specific meows, the tail positions that signal comfort or unease. This seeing, this true recognition, is rarer than you might imagine. Many people live with cats without ever really knowing them. They provide food and shelter, but miss the deeper relationship available. But you've paid attention. You've learned who your cat actually is, not who you wanted them to be. And that gift of authentic recognition is profound beyond measure. Your cat's soul needed to be witnessed in this particular way, by this particular person. That's why they found you, creating sacred space. Your home became something different the day your cat arrived. It transformed from simply a place you live into a sanctuary where a soul could feel safe enough to be vulnerable. Consider what this means. For a cat to sleep deeply, to show their belly, to purr unreservedly, they must feel absolute safety. That safety doesn't come from walls or locks. It comes from you. Every time you maintain routines they can rely on, you're giving the gift of predictability. Every time you move gently and speak softly, you're honoring their sensitivity. Every time you create spaces where they can retreat and feel secure, you're saying through actions, "You are safe here. You belong here." Some cats came to you from traumatic backgrounds, shelters, streets, abusive situations. Others came from loving places but still needed to adjust. In either case, what you provided was irreplaceable, the patient, consistent environment where healing becomes possible. Your cat needed exactly your energy, your temperament, your specific way of creating home. The unique gift only you possess. Every human-cat relationship has a unique quality that makes it unlike any other. And within that uniqueness lies your specific mission. Maybe your gift is patience. Perhaps your cat came from circumstances where trust was shattered. And you, with your endless capacity to wait without forcing, to invite without demanding, that patience is your sacred offering. Maybe your gift is playfulness. Some cats carry heaviness, and they needed someone who could coax out their lighter side. Your willingness to be silly, to play even when you're tired, that's your unique contribution. Maybe your gift is quietness. In a chaotic world, some cats desperately need a calm human. Your capacity to sit in peaceful silence, to create an atmosphere of tranquility, this is what their spirit required. Or maybe your gift is advocacy. Perhaps your cat has special needs that others might not accommodate. But you research, you adapt, you ensure they receive proper care. This determined love is what they needed to thrive. What is your gift? Look at your relationship honestly. What does your cat draw from you that perhaps no one else could give quite the same way? The sacred circle completes. Now you can see the full picture. Your cat came with missions to protect your energy, heal your heart, teach you presence, challenge your growth, and bridge you to mystery. And you came with your own mission, to offer whatever unique gift lives in your soul that their soul required. This is reciprocity at the highest level. This is partnership between souls who found each other because something greater than coincidence was orchestrating the connection. You are not just lucky to have your cat is fortunate to have you. Both statements are equally true. Every morning when you tend to their needs, you're fulfilling sacred work. Every moment you choose to be present, to be patient, to be loving, you're completing your mission. And here's the beautiful truth. In giving your cat what they need, you become more fully yourself. The patience you develop serves you everywhere. The presence you practice becomes your path to peace. The unconditional love you offer expands your capacity to love everything more deeply. You grow together, you heal together, you evolve together. Living the mission. Consciously. From this moment forward, you have a choice. You can return to seeing your cat as simply a pet, or you can recognize them as a soul partner, a fellow traveler whose presence in your life carries weight and meaning beyond the ordinary. When you choose the latter, everything shifts. The daily care becomes an act of service. The quiet evenings together become meditation. The playful moments become celebration. Even the difficult days become sacred work. Your cat looks at you right now with eyes that hold ancient wisdom. They see you more clearly than you see yourself. They know when you're pretending to be fine. They sense when your heart needs tending. and in return, they ask only that you see them too. Really see them, honor their nature, love them for exactly who they are. So the next time your cat curls up beside you, take a moment. Really feel their warmth. Notice their breathing. Recognize that two souls are choosing to share space, to offer comfort, to exist together in peace. This is extraordinary disguised as everyday life. Your cat chose you across time and space, carrying a mission written in starlight. And you chose them right back, bringing your own irreplaceable gifts to the sacred exchange. If this journey has touched your heart, if you're seeing your cat with new eyes now, I'd be honored if you'd subscribe to this channel. There's so much more to explore together. And please share your story in the comments below. Tell me about your cat's mission and about yours. I read every single one. Thank you for allowing me to walk this path with you. May you and your beloved feline continue to bless each other's journey, today and always.